the conversations that I'm having with my guy friends or like, just like men that I go out with, and I've had way more good relationships with men that I've
Mm.
had bad relationships, which
Mm.
is like amazing. And like, thank God. Thanks, guys, for being so nice. But like, it is just like the conversations that I'm having with these guys, it's like they are actually interested now in seeing from somewhat of a woman's perspective. And they're so much more interested in having these conversations with women if
Yeah.
women are open to having these conversations. I think that's a big part of it too, where it's like women don't want to argue with men
Mm.
because we know what we need in
Mhm.
quotations. Like, it's a very difficult thing because men will never realize what it takes to carry a child. Like,
What's impossible?
it's impossible. So, like, we can't ask them to understand that. But what I'm hoping that we get out of any of this extreme feminism, because
Mhm.
a lot of it is
Yeah.
extreme, and I don't not believe, but like, understand most of it. But like, there is a lot of it where it's just like, we have to just be empathetic towards each other. And I think women are just sick of being empathetic. And I think that's a bit of the problem too.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, it goes back to what I said before about choice, is I believe in choice, and I believe equality to me is not I'm making exactly the same amount of money, or I'm a boss lawyer and you're a boss lawyer, or
Mhm.
you're a boss this, or whatever. That's not what it is for me. I think what we should understand, and I think the bit that women have lost, and it is pretty much other women's fault, I think, is that we have different roles in relationships.
Mhm.
You can do different things. You have different skill levels. And sometimes the woman is the breadwinner in terms of making money.
Mhm.
That is more often not the case, but it definitely is the case much more today. And sometimes the man is a more nurturing man, and he has more of a role at home. They're all different. The point I'm making, they're all different combinations of people. They're all different combinations of relationships. And if you meet somebody, perhaps rather than having these incredibly um predefined ideas about everything, like
Mhm.
I'm a woman, I'm 29 or 30 today, therefore that means I have to have this, that, and the other, right? Like, maybe think about what you want. The same for a man. What do you want?
Mhm.
And you meet and you together decide where your couple is going, like what it is that you want,
Right.
right? Rather than having, no, I'm a woman, therefore I'm not ironing your shirts because
Oh
that
my God,
means I'm a
it drives me insane.
1950s housewife. To me, that is completely insane. Like, I've said this to you many times, and you've been in our home many times. My husband does all the cooking
Mhm.
because he's very good at it. He's a very, very male man, but he loves cooking.
Mhm.
He finds it very relaxing. So when he's stressed, it's his thing. And he also likes to do it because he feels he's doing something. He likes to make people happy. So
Mhm.
cooking is a thing for him. And but that is the only domestic thing he does in our home. I mean, he fixes stuff, but he doesn't use the washing machine. He doesn't iron anything. He doesn't really, has never really been in the day-to-day involvement of our children. Very
Right.
much involved in our children's life, but not really in school and, the nitty-gritty and day-to-day stuff. That's been me. But not because he's made me do it, not because
Mhm.
I've made him cook, because we've decided these are our skills and we play to those skills. So in some senses, we're very traditional, but in some senses we're not. Like, he's cooking. Like, most men would be like, "Oh, I don't want to marry her if she can't cook." Well, but I don't have an issue cleaning up. I don't have an issue ironing. I don't have an issue
Right, but
if a
this is
bed needs to be made. I make the
yeah.
bed. Or the kids need stuff. I will do it. But that is an agreement that we've made.
Mhm.
That is my choice and his choice,
Mhm.
and it works really well. And that's the thing I think has been lost. Like, why don't you do what works for you?
I think this is what the problem is. It's like, um we are all, and especially the younger generation, because we're always online, just
Mm,
constantly online, like we can't get off of it. And we like are just in our little echo chambers,
yeah.
right? And the algorithm keeps feeding you stuff. So that's why we're getting all this kind of insane, like just narcissistic feminism
Mhm.
happening. And then that's why we're also getting all this like extremism misogyny that's going on.
Absolutely.
And that's why because the algorithm keeps pushing us farther away and sending us the same bullshit, and we just keep fucking listening to this, which isn't helping us come together in any sort of like agreement. There's no agreements ever happening anymore.
That's exactly what's happening. Like if you're a young man and you start with one point of view, it just keeps feeding you that it's okay.
Yes.
And if you're a young woman, it keeps feeding you that it's okay. And then where we are today is everyone's complaining. And the amount of people that I meet, like, you know, maybe people that I know or children of friends of mine who are around your age, like late 20s, 30s, who cannot fucking meet somebody who are very attractive like you, who have great careers, who are really personable, who have all sorts of skills, but they cannot meet somebody for all sorts of the modern fuckery that goes on, like, you know, that they work remotely or whatever. But it goes back to a lot of these things that people just have these really preconceived ideas about stuff rather than just going out meeting somebody. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know, not. And I mean, it does go back to the apps. Like, we know too much, like your salary bracket, your job, your car, your house, and you haven't even had a drink with this person.
Yeah, and then we can see all of your mutual friends. We know who you know.
Right.
We can get all the goss on you.
Right.
It's like a scary place to be.
And I do understand that in one sense, I think the origins of the dating apps were, well, surely it's better. It's like a modern matchmaker because you know all the data points and you match them
up. And there
are
great things about it. Like, so many people that are getting married today are meeting off of Hinge.
Yeah. And I understand that, but there seems to be something going wrong. And, you know, for our
because that's the way that people only think that they can get married now.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Absolutely. And like, you know, for us, for what we're doing in our podcast and what we talk about and the amounts of comments we get and the amounts of comments from men that they say that
and thank you guys so much for commenting and trusting us. Like, we love hearing you guys' messages and like just answering you back on comments. A lot of it is Mel, and she is obviously the one who gives the best advice. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much again just for commenting and stuff.
No, you're right. But it's like,
Opening
it's discussion. It's so important.
Yeah.
And even if I don't or you don't agree with your comment, that doesn't mean I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. I want that's the problem.
Yeah, just because I don't agree with certain points of view about what you might think about women or relationships or whatever, if this is coming from a man, it doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you, because I think that's the problem. Is we shouldn't be closing ourselves off. If anything, we should be understanding why do men, and we'll say again young men because it's perhaps more younger men, have some of these ideas, and why the hell do young women have some of these ideas? Because they're clearly at odds, and there's clearly a problem. And if you go back to this basic idea that a lot of young men seem to think that women want all this stuff. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website at sharingmytruth.com to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.